One, Rahman is the lead product designer at Scale AI, the company that provides data infrastructure behind AI at Meta, Anthropic, OpenAI, and the US government. He's been designing products for over 20 years and is also a partner at Brono, an AI tool for designers. I want to talk to him because he's sitting right at the intersection of two massive shifts happening right now: infrastructure and the future of design itself. Rahman, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I want us to kick things off by trying to understand your world. So Scale AI powers data behind most of AI. What does the product design actually do there? What's the work?
Yeah, it's been a mess, excuse me. So the biggest problem with AI products that we usually in classical products, there are expected inputs and expected outcomes. So if you click this button, you will get this result. If you go through this flow, you will get this specific outcome, which is very systematic and very expected. And they are like very, very carefully designed flows and inputs and outcomes. In AI products, the inputs are messy and unstructured and not expected, which basically mostly is prompts. And prompts, we don't know what our users will prompt our products, right? It might be very structured and very well thought and very detailed, and it might be very basic and very generic. And so the inputs are not expected. The outcomes are totally not structured. So yeah, it's a totally different kind of product, if I may say.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just in this Product Plus event, and I was like saying that a shocking statement, but my idea was it. So what I said is virality doesn't mean success, doesn't mean product success.
Mm.
You can make a product that go viral, and it's very easy
Right.
to design a product that could, in 30 minutes, with any of the tools, Lovable Replit, you can make a demo. So my talk was about what's the difference between an AI demo and an AI product. So a demo is about the capabilities. You can design, you can make a demo that is very capable, that can do fascinating stuff that people get wowed, but that doesn't mean that this is a successful product. So it's capability versus value. So a
Right.
product has to bring value. Demo has to show capability. But after you showed capability, you still need to understand your users and if they actually need this capability and what are the use cases, right? Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
So where do you think, I think that you touched on something very, very interesting. Where do you think the role of design between prototype and, and then something, the virality of the prototype or building something that maybe gets attention, and then the process of actually getting it to a scalable product that is very useful for the users? Where do product
Yes.
designers live in this whole, process now?
Yes, product designers now are more important and more crucial than ever because engineers build fascinating products, and early adapters and geeks use it and they go viral, like Cloudbot, the recent, example, the most recent example. But designers, the main KPI for designers now is user stickiness, right? So we see a lot of products that goes up and down, but what will make a good product that the user sticks with it. And by a lot of competitors and a lot of other products launched every day, it's more important to understand the user, to understand the competitors. This is something actually also the product manager does, but the designers are like more empathetic. They understand the user needs and priorities and personalities and use cases. Actually, the line between product managers and product designers are becoming thinner and thinner every day. Yes, product designers, most of them are still hands-on, but when you are a little bit more senior or bit more strategic product designer, it's become very similar to what the product manager is doing. Only it focuses on users instead of business, maybe. So it's like the same thing, but from another angle, right?
Right.
So yeah, so so for instance, what I do in Scale, the product designer, as a lead product designer, is mostly finding the right use cases that the AI will make sense, right? That the AI will make sense with, that will be most beneficially, that will benefit the most from AI enhancement. So mostly, for
Can you give
instance,
me examples of this? Yeah. Yeah. Give
yes,
me examples.
exactly. Yeah. So a lot of what we do is AI assisted workflows, right? So I don't know if you know, but mainly Scale AI is working with the Qatari government. This is like their biggest contract for like a 5
Right.
years contract with the Qatari government. So they are like transforming more than 80 applications and platforms within the Qatari ministries, right?
80.
So yes, so what we do, we get into the one of the ministries and we start understanding a lot of the business processes, a lot of the platforms and stuff like that, and we start analyzing what's the most use cases that might be boosted and be a lot more productive in terms of productivity, which is speed, which is less error margins, which is more convenient to the people who are using it, this kind of stuff. So when you spot, so not everything, not every use case, or not every platform, or not every workflow would benefit from using AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Mm-hmm.
spot which would be the most use cases that would actually benefit from AI, this is one of the things that designers should do or are doing in big organizations right now.
How has the job changed? Do you think it's still the same in some sense, or is it really, really changing quite rapidly?
I think the fundamentals are always the same. It's defining the problem,
Right.
understanding the users, coming up with solutions for these users, solving these problems, and measuring the convenience, the satisfaction, the productivity, whatever the kind of product is,
Right.
measuring the outcome, whatever it is. So
Mm-hmm.
this has
Mm-hmm.
basically been what I've said right now would never change. So this is what product designers do while it's in the Web 2.0 disruption, into the blockchain disruption, into the AI disruption, into whatever. It's the same. So it's like there is a new capability, there is a new technology. So designers start rushing to see what would be how could we use this to make better products for the users, how to solve more problems or to same current problems in a more convenient way.
Right. So basically, the fundamentals are the same.
Yes,
The workflows
exactly.
might change, but the fundamentals are the same. Yeah, I love that. I love that because I always, I look, on X and on LinkedIn, product designers are always like, "Oh, the job is changing so much." But when you think about it and think about what you just said, the fundamentals are going to stay the same no matter what technology that you use. On the
Yes,
other
exactly.
side, though, at the same time, the tools that product designers are using to maintain the fundamentals, I'd imagine, are changing, right? I think
Yes.
you're building or you're part of Brono AI,
Yes.
which is can I call it a vibe coding tool? You're able to build the designs. Maybe you can tell me, you can frame it in a better
Yeah.
way, but
Yeah.
you're creating designs through prompting. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes.
Where do you think that this is headed, and why are you building this?
Yeah. Why am I building this? Let me take a step back and tell you the story behind how I get involved with
Yes.
Bruno. Actually, what happened is the founders of Bruno, two very passionate, very smart, young, one engineer, one designer, they came to me for feedback as a designer, as one of their target audience. And I made a session with them and I tell them some feedback after I tried the tool. And that's it. And after just like less than a day, they got back to me with all the feedbacks that I gave them done in the product.
Mm.
So, okay. So, and I discovered that they are talking with a lot of, not just me, it's like not like 10 people, like 20 people. They are talking with a lot of people, a lot of designers. And so I get fascinated that these young people first, they are very passionate about the idea. They work on it like 24 hours and that they are
Hmm.
very flexible and their iteration cycle is very quick, and that they listen to feedback and that they ask people for feedback and that they are very flexible with the feedback, because usually people who build products, most probably they are not welcome, not the word welcoming, they are just not flexible with the feedback, they don't act on the
Mm.
feedback very well. So
I'll ask you a quick question. I'm sorry. Are they
yeah,
product designers who are building the product?
one engineer, one product designer.
Okay. Because product designers are always more open, I think, than
Yes.
other. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the most
Continue.
important quality. I wouldn't call it a skill. I would call it a quality of a product designer is empathy, is being able to design these products for like seniors with big fonts and big icons and stuff that you might not like it personally. And the other product for like kids that has colorful and playful and so one of the things that I spot the people who are artists, not designers, who are creative, not innovative, and I can talk about this a little bit more, are when you find a portfolio of a designer which all looks alike, which
Mm.
all look minimal or all look elite or all look luxury or whatever the style is. So
A
this
theme,
person
yeah.
is a theme. This person is an artist who like a specific style or like a specific theme, and he's applying it to everything. But the designer is empathetic with the user and is able to change to design for the user instead of designing for himself. Artists do whatever they feel. Designers do
Hmm.
whatever their users want. This is the main
Yeah.
difference. So yeah, back to Bruno. So yeah, so okay, I've been working with them, feedback loops, and then okay, these guys are fascinating, and I said okay, I will get involved, and I may even invest in this product if I started relying on it in my daily work. This is what I said. This is like the sign that I added. This is like the KPIs that I put for myself, and I started using it, and then yes, I mean it's not like it's not like build me a new product or design a new product that is like Uber or that is like
It's
Talabat or
it's not
that
like
is like
lovable. It's not like lovable, for
it,
example.
you can tell it to design an e-commerce product or whatever, and it will do it. But what I was and most professional designers will use it for, it's something like I get it. I gave it a screenshot of a current section, for instance, and I tell her we want to add a little bit more complexity. We have a specific requirement in this section, for instance. So it starts regenerating this section with different requirements with the same style. So this is
Yeah.
actually what we would need. You can give it a flow and you can tell it what are the gaps in this flow and please fill these gaps. So it can start generating more screens in between, or it can start like adding some sections in some of the screens. So this is what we would need in our daily professional job. Not like, not every day will design a new app or a new whole flow or whatever. So
Yeah.
when I felt
Actually,
like
this is exactly the problem, right?
yes.
This is the problem that with generative interfaces, or not generative interfaces, but products that allow you to create design, the consistency, it's difficult to maintain the consistency, the same brand guidelines, like these sort of things are very difficult to make. You're basically saying that Brono has maybe solved that.
Yes, for now you can give it a screenshot of your current UI and it will make similar UI.
Mm.
But what we are working on, and also even with the Figma plugins, we are working on being able to take the exact design system components from Figma to Bruno and Bruno design based on these components. And you can copy back the designs from Bruno to Figma as components and instances. This is not done yet,
Yeah.
but we are working on along with the Figma API people to be able to make this happen. And if this is done,
Okay.
this would be like this would be huge because this is a gap now. So I
It
can
is.
design a
It
lot
is.
on Bruno, but when I move it back to I can copy it
It's
to Figma.
difficult.
It's similar, but it's not coming. It's not the instances. And if anybody or listening to us now is a designer, the design system is like a lot of what we are doing is like keeping the design system consistent and so yeah, this
And
this is a huge gap.
fighting with the engineers to always maintain the design system. I see a
Yeah,
lot of that.
actually, we used to, as designers, we used to fight with engineers a lot more before the product manager role is here. So I
Right.
used I used to design before there was something called product managers.
Okay.
And there was like a designer and engineer who are reporting to maybe a project manager, which is totally different. And we were talking like two different languages. Now everybody is talking the product language. But
Mhm.
before everybody was talking a different language. And now designers are more literate, more educated than before. They understand KPIs, user flows, conversion rates, this kind of stuff, requirements. So before that, a designer role with more basics than that, more visual, maybe information architecture, if you are very good designer. But more than that, you wouldn't really understand the product goals. You just understand
Right.
the user goals, maybe the business goals, if you're a good designer, but the product goals and KPIs and the roadmap and where we're headed and this kind of stuff, most designers wouldn't really care or understand
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. I want to jump to something a little different. I want to jump to generative interfaces and talk a little bit. Maybe we touched a little
Yeah.
bit on that, but I'd love to say I'd love to get your take on where interfaces are going. I think there is this movement, or not movement, but a lot of people are actually believing, and I'm one of them. Now, you can build product, or where product is headed is that an interface is, as I'm using the product, it's just created instantaneously. What do you think of that? Where do
Yes.
you think, how do you think this changes product design?
Yeah. Short answer, I don't think that this, what should I call it, trend maybe would stand. I mean, we were talking earlier about the problem of AI being unstructured, right?
Hmm.
Unstructured inputs and outputs. So people kind of like in like a year ago or so, they started to believe that every product should be just one box that you prompt and nothing else. Then they
Mm,
started adding back some structure to this
true.
box. So we can have
True.
some drop downs that would like guide the prompt into a certain direction. So they are starting taking back the huge freedom and give it a little bit more structures time, a little bit by bit. So if we are generating the UI that we are using on the fly, I don't think that'll work. First of all, as designers, we understand something that we call it the learning curve, right? So the UI, for instance, the Facebook UI, there's a lot of buttons, there is a lot of stuff going on, but that stuff is not here from day one. It was only a wall and a box and posts. Then they added the states, if you are single or not, it's very important. Then they added the like, only like, and then they added the reactions, and then they added the marketplace and the groups and all these,
Right.
if you split down Facebook, only Facebook, not the whole Meta family, if you split down Facebook to products, I think maybe there will be over 100 products. You have this messenger box at the bottom, and you have the separate messenger on your iOS, different than the iPad, different than the Android. You have, I don't know, stuff for the watch. You have the whole advertisement products and its
Hmm.
back end and its billing and of course groups and its administration. So if you counted the products inside only Facebook, it would be hundreds. So this is like a very well designed product, accumulative over time. So to tell me, and now you are able to use it as a user because you started learning very few interaction needs, and then it started a little bit getting a little bit more complex, a little bit more complex, a little bit more complex. But if you get somebody from outside this planet and tell them to start using Facebook, he will get shocked. What is this? What, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we are doing generative UI, most probably it would be like very similar to current products. So it will be like generating Uber, generating Facebook, generating, I don't know, Snapchat, whatever. Because if it needs something, if it generates something genuine, new, people will not be able to use it. We only use what we have learned to use. So since it will be just generating whatever is already there, why don't I use what's been already there already, right? So I'll
Right.
be using my
Right.
Gmail, I will be using my, I don't know, Trello board, I will be using my Miro board, I will be using. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit overhyped. I mean, it's like it's a cool idea. This is exactly what I was talking about, a demo, a capability versus value. It's very cool. It sounds fantastic. It sounds like the idea of flying cars. Like, everybody like,
Yes.
when we will have flying cars. But actually, when you have
Hmm.
flying cars, it might be the fuel consumption will be a lot. It might be noisy. Why do I need a flying car? I mean, it's already
Yes.
flying over wheels. That's flying enough for me. I don't need more
Yeah.
complications than that, right? Yeah. So this is like a flying car. It's fascinating, but what's the actual need for generative UI, right?
I see your
I
point. I
think
see
so.
your point, and it's very good to hear that, because I spend a lot of time on X. X users usually are they're too futuristic, and it's like when you see that,
Yes.
you only see that, you don't see anything else. So it's very good to get that reality. I think yes, there is a big difference between something that may be fun and something that may be trendy and something that may be actually useful, and the gap between both is big.
Yes.
Love the answer on generative UI. I want to move to
Thank you.
now. Where do you see, or not now, but 5 years from now, what does the design job look like?
A design job will
You already
always.
established that the
Yes.
fundamentals are going to stay the same, but there
Yes.
must be some changes.
I think design job, like any other job, will be depending more on. I don't like the word creativity because it's more on an artist's job to be creative versus innovation. It will be more innovative than hands-on. So all the hands-on work will be AI generated, but the strategy and the decision and the direction would be dictated by designers. So it would be a lot more near to what product managers are now doing
Okay.
than what hands-on designers doing. This is what I think. I don't know what will be happening, but I mean the decisions and understanding the landscape and where things are going and taking decisions versus like so yeah, for designers it's very important to understand. I actually been talking about something like, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years ago, and now it's more crucial than ever. It's the product strategy gap. You can find a number of articles I've been writing about the product strategy gap. So even in product management, not even product designers, even for product managers, company culture always reward delivery over strategy. So they always push you to deliver a lot of features and a lot of releases, and this is like rewarded versus saying no to 10 features versus one well-fitting feature, right? So there is, if I split product management into delivery and strategy, which I think product management is delivery and strategy as maybe measurement, which is also part of delivery. So basically it's delivery and strategy. Most product managers now are like 90% delivery.
They're
So
more like
so
project managers than product managers, actually.
yes. Yeah, there is like road mapping, and there is like all the meetings and all the hands-on delivery and all the following up and stuff. But the even the road mapping, I haven't seen road maps being there is always a roadmap in all the products, but it's not like there is no like sessions and there is no like enough thinking of what to add, what features in terms of the user needs, in terms of the feedback, in terms of the trends and where the things are heading, in terms of the competition, what to add to the roadmap, what features to add to our product, and more importantly, what to remove from the product. So people nowadays, they add features and they've added this feature like 3-4 releases ago. They didn't measure if it's being used or not. If it's not used, we should be removing it from the
Of course.
product, right?
Right.
Not just
Right.
add it
Right.
and okay, we've made a lot of effort doing this, so we'll just leave it even if nobody is using it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a product starting to become very cluttered, right? So so in terms of strategy, so especially since speed of building is very fast, anybody can build anything very quickly. Nowadays, it's more crucial than ever the direction. Of course, we know if, with speed, direction is more important, right? You can go in a very different place with a very small, incorrect direction if you're going very quickly. So because its speed is very quick now, strategy, setting the direction, saying no more often is more crucial than ever. This is what I want to say. Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Love it. Okay, so last question I want to ask is if there's a junior product designer who maybe just graduated, wants to become a junior product designer, or maybe as a junior product designer has been doing that for maybe a year or two, what is your advice for them?
For junior product designers, I find a lot who starting to learn UX from the beginning of the process, which is research and human behavior and psychology, which is very hard. I don't recommend that. What I
Okay.
recommend is starting to learn from the UI side of things. So we have the process of the design. Of course, this process is changing now rapidly, but I mean, the classic project process is UX research and strategy, then information architecture, and then interaction design, and then UI, more or less. So people start with the theoretical hard part and leave the UI to the very end. While a lot or most of what the designers, especially junior designers, of course, are actually doing daily is mostly UI design. And what the recruiters look for mostly is UI design, visual design. So I would recommend junior designers to learn UI design, having the UI, the perfect UI, the spacing, the visual hierarchies, the typography, this kind of visual stuff. First, before understanding the interaction models, before understanding information architecture, before understanding the psychology and the human behavior and how people think and the big series and stuff. So this is one thing. The other thing I don't want I found often that junior designers are like, sometimes they read a lot, but they don't practice. So if you read a lot without practicing, you become like a philosopher. You can debate stuff over Facebook, or you can even be a speaker or something. But when you get to, I found a lot of these sample, when you get to work, so you can hire somebody who looks very, knowledgeable, but when he gets to work when we need delivery of some stuff, he's very weak with it. So as much as you read, you need to practice. So what I always say is every day a designer wakes up, he needs to design something, even if he is not employed. You need to find something to design every day and seek feedback from someone.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Abdurrahman, thank you. Thank you for doing this. I've learned a lot from you. I'm sure whoever's going to listen is also going to learn a lot. Thank you for your time, man.
Great. See you. Thank you.
See you.
Bye.